when I'm putting on that costume and I'm putting on the cape, I'm embodying all the elements of what Con represented. Con was one of the world's most famous wire walkers to date. He was an icon throughout the circus community. Not only the circus community, but he was a sort of unsung hero as a black fella. He is a character that embodies a lot of what First Nations people around the country dream to be. This sense of, nothing is impossible and achieving all the things that you believe that you can.
My name is Simone O'Brien. I am the co-director of The Xrossing, a site-specific show here in Lismore to celebrate Lismore as the birthplace of the world's greatest tightwire walker of all time, Con Colleano, a Gamilaroi man born in 1899. At 19, he was the first person to achieve the impossible front salt on the wire. So standing foot to foot, standing on the wire, jumping up, tucking a forward salt and landing on the wire. And the incredible thing about that is that it's a blind landing. So you can't see where your feet are until they land. People didn't believe that you could do it, but Con did.
Con's skill level and ability kind of boils down to the mental focus and the mental fortitude to be able to block out, your body's natural ability to kind of freak out. A lot of wire walking is mental fortitude and comes down to focus and that ability to kind of switch off the inner monologue and to be able to go deep within yourself and to know that you've got the capability and the skill to do the trick, but also the belief that you're going to land it. As soon as the doubt and any of that kind of creeps in, then it starts to filter into your body. You start to get shaky, all these other things start to come into play. So the biggest part of what Con's skill ability would have been is just that mental fortitude and strength to just kind of focus and to land it on a piece of wire that's half an inch thick, 6 meters in the air. You need to have that kind of laser focus and that laser mental fortitude to be able to pull everything in together.
Con Colleano, to avoid the racist policies at the time that forbade Aboriginal people to work, he set his sights on the States and creating a Spanish toreador persona for himself so that he enabled himself to travel. He was incredibly handsome and incredibly skilled. Tightwire was just one of the things he could do. He could play the trumpet, he could box, he could chuck a backsummy on a horse. By the 30s, by 1936, he was performing for the new Chancellor of Germany, Hitler, who gave him a passport to Germany. Mussolini, he had all the dictators under his belt. Mussolini gave him a medal, called him a stud of a man, and he was the king of circus when circus was at its peak. So pre-World War II, circus was the primary form of entertainment.
I remember hearing about it and being really fascinated because I'd never heard of him before. And the man is quite a legend.
I love the fact that there's a First Nations artist up there tricking one of the most infamous, evil, racist bastards of all time.
I kind of was giggling to myself, like a little bit like, wow, that's amazing. That's pretty incredible. He was traveling through interstate, internationally, in a time where some of us weren't even allowed to leave the suburb. The reason for this event is to honour that legacy and get the awareness around Con Colleano and how incredible he was.
The story itself, his story, is such an incredibly insane story. Like, you couldn't write it. So I wanted to make it feel as big and as grand as possible, and while keeping the calmness and making it feel introspective for everyone that will see it and hear it. There's a lot of beauty in his story, but there's a lot of sadness in the fact that he had to hide his identity for so long. I think the joy is that he got to survive, and now we get to tell his story.
Con has this ability to kind of be a role model in that sense for people to kind of look up to and aspire to. At the end of the show and after people watch it, I hope that they know the story of Con and they know the legacy of Con, and that they can take that legacy, apply it to themselves, and hopefully pass it on to the next generation.